Now, before we move into these 5 categories, I don't want to just skip over probably the most popular nootropic, which is caffeine. Caffeine's great. It's something that most of us use. The issue is that sometimes it can disrupt our sleep. Caffeine is actually a natural pesticide that plants use to fight off bugs that are eating it. It blocks the adenosine receptor in the brain and kills these bugs. Now, in humans, we get a boost of adrenaline, and this dopamine and serotonin help us focus and increase our mood. Blocking adenosine also shuts off what makes us feel tired. Now, stick around to the end because I'm going to give us a better alternative to just taking caffeine. So first off, we will start with our best friend, Methylene Blue. Now, if you've been around for a while, you've probably seen some of my other videos on Methylene Blue. Methylene Blue is one of my favorite nootropics, a synthetic dye that was first used to treat malaria and methemoglobinemia. Biohackers also found out this is great for your brain. Methylene Blue increases our oxygen uptake. So along with other mitochondrial boosters that we're talking about later, more oxygen means more energy. Also in high amounts, it helps fight off bacteria and infections. Now, again, caveat with Methylene Blue, starting doses is most often somewhere 2, 5, maybe 10 milligrams. High doses can result in serotonin syndrome. That's why you definitely should be chatting with a healthcare practitioner. This is something that you want to try out. And it would also probably be a good idea to get tested for a G6PD. This is a deficiency that makes it hard for the body to handle Methylene Blue and can result in not so fun side effects. Most people, when they take Methylene Blue, notice an increase in energy, drive, and focus. This is not only from the oxygen uptake, also because it blocks MAO. MAO inhibitors are what increase the serotonin and dopamine, which help give us more energy, drive, and focus, and brighten our mood, which also makes whatever you're doing more enjoyable. Not medical advice, but if you're looking to boost your brain, Methylene Blue is definitely something that you should consider. All right, so now we're going to move over to the mitochondria boosters. Most of you know mitochondria, powerhouse of the cell. And the way I talk about your mitochondria, your mitochondria is similar to a coal plant. And something like NAD are the trucks that are bringing in the coal. And the NAD are like these big trucks that are moving the coal around. The more trucks you have, the more coal that you can move around. Now, as we age, we lose NAD, and that's why increasing NAD is so good for your mitochondria. Now, there's a couple different ways people like to do this. I have 2 that I like doing. One is that you can do subcutaneous injections of NAD, 50 to 100 milligrams a couple times a week. I prefer this over IV. It's tolerated better, and it's often cheaper. And then there are oral ways to increase your NAD. You can do something like taking a precursor like NMN, but my personal favorite is taking the peptide 5-amino-1-MQ. In my experience, that's the one that I noticed the greatest benefit from, that increases my cognition, my memory, and my focus. Now, there are many mitochondrial boosters. NAD is probably the most popular right now, but one of my old school favorites then is also going to be L-Carnitine. L-Carnitine is an amino acid that your mitochondria requires to bring fatty acids into the cell to be burned. You can get this often from red meats, and you can supplement with it from 1 to 3 grams daily. There are some concerns with increasing TMAO, so it's worth doing blood work. And also, L-carnitine is great for fat loss and may increase our cell sensitivity to testosterone. There are several others for mitochondria, but those are the 2 that I take that I actually notice and feel a difference from. Now, if you can't focus or recall words, acetylcholine is probably an area that you want to look into. When we look at diseases like Alzheimer's, increasing acetylcholine seems to be very beneficial. Acetylcholine is the neurotransmitter that really helps with focus. Now, there are popular drugs that are made off of the action called an acetylcholine esterase inhibitor. Acetylcholine esterase inhibitors stop the breakdown of acetylcholine, and there's a popular supplement called huperzine that does this. That's one of my personal favorite ways to raise acetylcholine levels. Now, you can also supplement with some of the precursors. There are 3 popular ones that I find work quite well. Citicoline, which is choline CDP, alpha GPC, and then this is actually liposomal vitamin C that has phosphatidylcholine in it. All 3 of those are precursors to helping your body create acetylcholine. And I like to rotate them, and I do that with most of these nootropics. If you're using the same ones over and over again, you flood a pathway, your enzymes get upregulated, and you can develop a tolerance. And that's why with these 5 major categories, I'm often rotating. I'm not doing Methylene Blue every single day. One day I'll do Methylene Blue, one day I'll do Dihexa, and another day I'll do L-Carnitine. And then sometimes I mix and match them. always double checking to make sure that there aren't any interactions. Increasing acetylcholine is one of the areas that I personally have found a ton of benefit for. A lot of people use nicotine. Nicotine also hits similarly to the acetylcholine. So if you're using nicotine, you can try and find other ways to raise your acetylcholine and see if that gives some of the same benefits. And a side note on nicotine, I think when used in small amounts, spread out, it's most often a great nootropic. The issue is that most people end up taking it too much, too often, and they develop a tolerance, and then it doesn't do anything, and then you're just addicted to it. So as far as acetylcholine, I like using huperzine and alpha GPC. Now, for this next one, I'm going to talk about Dihexa. For whatever reason, this peptide hasn't been chatted about much, but it's basically been called fertilizer from your brain. It's actually stronger than BDNF, brain-derived nootropic factor. It comes from angiotensin 4, which regulates your blood pressure, and it enhances the activity of hepatocyte growth factor, which plays a key role in neurogenesis and synaptogenesis. So this helps your brain form new connections. And I'm going to give a shout out to Level Up Health. They have a great formula that has Dihexa in it and actually has huperzine, which we chatted about earlier. And there's plenty of other stuff in here, but what I really like that's hard to find is the Dihexa. Most people start at 2, 5, maybe 10 milligrams. And this is one that is really hit or miss. Often I have people take it and say, wow, great, I had energy for hours. It was like a natural Adderall. And other times people don't notice as much. For me, however, I notice when I'm having a long day with patients, my verbal recall and acuity are greatly increased. So it's one of my favorites. Now, another one hardly chatted about is Phenylpiracetam. Again, I've done other videos on this one on my channel that you may have already seen. Phenylpiracetam is a modified form of piracetam, and with the phenyl group, it crosses the blood-brain barrier, making it more potent. This was developed in the USSR when they needed to find a way to help their cosmonauts endure their time in space. Often people say this may be the closest thing to Adderall without the intense burnout. It increases energy, focus, and stamina, and really helps with dealing with stress. But you don't get the caffeine and the stimulant burnout from it. Now, again, this is one where I'd say you start with 50 to 100 milligrams. Do not take it daily. Spread out your doses, as people who take higher doses more frequently do develop a tolerance. And now, since you made it this far, we're going to give you a bonus one. And we're going to talk about paraxanthine. We chatted earlier about caffeine. One of caffeine's major metabolites is paraxanthine. It seems to give us a lot of the upsides of caffeine without the side effects. Paraxanthine doesn't raise the blood pressure or the heart rate as much, but it still provides very clean stimulation with focus, energy, and a mood boost. Lots of newer pre-workouts like over at Level Up Health are starting to use that instead of caffeine. Dosing is similar to caffeine, 100 to 200 milligrams. Now, those are 5 of my favorite nootropics. Now, I'm interested if you guys out there have used some. Please leave your comments below if you use the ones that I have and what doses. And I'd also love to hear if there are some new and exciting ones out there that I haven't heard about or I haven't tried. So please leave a comment below. And since you've made it this far, I think you'd really like to check out this video. Thanks for stopping by. Stay vigilant, my friends. And until next time, God bless.